Apparently so, yeah. I mean,
banging 3 or 4. He's doing a Prince Andrew, porking 3 or 4 times a day, I think, as standard.
well, we're live now, so let's hope we don't get thrown.
Well, no one knows who we were talking about, and it's
Yeah.
definitely not Les. Les's libido's through the floor, as I found out the other day.
Really?
Fuck you, Les. No, I don't know.
All right. Anyway, any references to Prince Andrew? No endorsement. Obviously, the case is ongoing. Yeah. All right. Well, we've got the millions of people trickling in.
Good. Millions of people do often trickle in, don't they? That's how it works.
Yes.
The millions of people around the world.
Usually, we start the streams by sort of talking about cheese or Steve Jabber or something like that in order to get the party going.
How do you feel about cheese on toast as a staple?
I quite like it, but I never really have it these days. I do quite. My phone's fucked up. My phone's really fucked up. So basically, any app that I go into, it just scrolls right back to the beginning. You know, so I'll go into WhatsApp, go into a WhatsApp chat, and it just keeps, instead of like just displaying the current thing, it will scroll all the way back.
I've had that before.
Do you know how you solve
Restart the phone. Restarted the phone, I think. Nothing of particular technical wizardry for that.
I got a sausage roll because I just suddenly got a bit of an energy dip. So
I'm not a fan of sausage rolls. I like very gourmet ones in like a country pub with a bit of chutney or a bit of mustard. But yeah, just out of the packet. Sainsbury's out of the packet. Not sure. You're probably eating hoof as well. Uros's hoof.
Well,
cheese on toast
situation.
True. So cheese on toast, the final word, I'd say, yeah, I went through a stage of loving that. Drunken, just when I was still living with my parents way back when, coming back from the pub after 5 Stellas. And yeah, cheese on toast. But the key is to make the bread not go soggy. You toast the bread first on a normal toaster, then slice up your various cheeses, dab on a little bit of Tabasco and a lot of Liam Perrins, and then in EOs to the grill, sizzling away. That's the way. And then a little bit of top up of Liam Perrins halfway through. And there you have your cheese on toast. The purists, I mean, it's a great comfort dish, especially for winter. You sometimes see it in pubs, but it's never cheese on toast. It's labeled as Welsh rarebit. And the way they make that is they get the cheese, they grate it up, mature cheddar, mix it with mustard, mix it with Liam Perrins, and I think a little bit of balsamic. And then they slap that on and grill that, and it comes out as this kind of golden mess. But it's pretty tasty as well. Pretty tasty, must say. Pubs. I actually really want to. I need to visit some countryside pubs and indulge in some old school British fare.
Yeah, I mean, who needs Gordon Ramsay when you got this show?
Exactly. Although old Ramster, his speciality was French, wasn't it? The irony: a Scotsman cooking, getting a 3 Michelin star business in French food. There you go.
He's got a Netflix special now, hasn't he? Apparently. Are you muted or something?
I was. Now I'm back.
Right.
Back for good.
All right. So, I think we're losing people. So maybe we get into the topic. So your cluelessness is killing your dating life. All right. So we're going to talk about basically why that is the case, and then give you some actionable advice for how you can solve this. But I mean, basically, let's be honest. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because this sort of advice has been going for a long time. There's a lot of information out there now with AI. It's all at your fingertips. You can go onto ChatGPT, 2 seconds, you can find out what the London day game model is, or what hypergamy means, or any of that nonsense. Really, there's no secret to this stuff. So you would think. And then we do these streams all the time, and we make videos all the time explaining stuff. And sometimes guys will comment and say, "Oh, mate, have you only just found that out? This is obvious, blah, blah, blah." Well, yeah, it should be. But it's just, what's astonishing is when we meet guys in real life, how clueless some of them are. Not all of them, not all. Some guys are very switched on, but there's a lot of guys who are just really clueless about just the fundamentals of dating and interrelating with women and how this stuff should go down. It can be quite astonishing, can't it?
Sure. I mean, look, we both went through the theory junkie stage, didn't we, as well? Where you think, right, I'm going to learn everything about games, get good at game. Obviously, that doesn't work. It's It's a skill set like playing tennis. You have to get out there, feel the stroke of the balls on the court, the slice action, all of that. It's learned in person. That's how you get feedback. That's how you improve. But if you had your time again, would you have bothered with any theory, or would you have just fucking walked out of the house and paid someone to make you approach and just been like, right, just make me approach 50, 60 women a week? Or do you think theory has its place as long as you're taking action?
I think it's got its place to some extent, actually, because I did do the thing of just go out of the house and talk to a load of people, because that was all that was available at the time. So when I was in my, the nightclub days, getting drunk and just sort of running around and talking to loads of girls, and I was getting dates, and I was, things were moving for me, because it's always better to do some action than none. But yes. I was also making a lot of mistakes because I had no idea. So, and principally the mistakes were things like not really. I mean, a lot of the stuff we talk about, not creating polarity, putting women on pedestals, being very supplicative, all this kind of stuff. So even though I was out and about and running around all the time and meeting new people, I was also in the specific interactions, I was messing up a lot. And to be honest, it was only theory that really got me out of that. Would I have got out of it otherwise? Possibly. Maybe over a long time. But my learning was really accelerating just by reading some content about this stuff and watching a few videos and things like that.
Yes. And I think the way we give guys theory now is they'll come to a boot camp, we'll give them a little bit of a talk 10, 15 minutes before, find out their level, but then throw them in relentlessly. And as they're getting feedback from the universe, from the girl, we're adjusting them in real time. Yeah. And then what we'll do at the end of the day is sit down review session. Right, we film it all on 4K cameras with audio. It's all very discreet. You keep the footage, not us. We sit down, show you that footage and break down. When you're able to see yourself in real time, so you're seeing yourself approach women in 4K visual with the audio, you're like, oh shit, they've told me I'm speaking too fast, and now I'm seeing it. So it's like reviewing. It's like NFL players after the game, you're reviewing the game. It's exactly like that. And when you've got us in real time adjusting you, but then afterwards the review sessions, you're actually seeing yourself and you're like, shit, I am talking over her, or I am changing the topic, or I'm not slowing down. Then that's where you actually can see, right, change that one thing, right, done. Now change that one thing. That's the only way, really, I think, of really taking this stuff seriously and getting good. And I think guys either do way too much theory or they do headless chicken action and no way of improving. But you want to marry together both. 90% action, 10% theory after the action. From reliable sources, from guys that get it, right? Like us. We're not the only people, but if you vibe with us for some strange reason, as we talk about cheese pies or cheese on toast or sausage and Steve Jabber, then so be it. And come on. Stevie Jabber. Notes in. The question is, when we fly to the Philippines with our bag of crumpled notes as well, do we make amends and meet up with Stevie Jabber and film some content?
We should do a live stream with him, really.
But he'd make it weird because he'd like beam in and some his background be a fucking spaceship or something weird. And it's like, Stevie Jabber, come on, you're not 5 years old, take your pajamas off. Not like that. Put some normal clothes on, get out of the spaceship. We'll see. We'll have to, TBC. So I'm assuming, as usual, you've spent hours crafting some key points.
I've got some key points. Yeah, and a lot of this stuff also comes down to, I think, delusion, because as men, we tend to kid ourselves that women like us more than is actually necessarily the case. And of course, the only way, this was something else that I had to learn, because I spent, as a kid, as a teenager, looking at the girl in the class, and I would spend hours and weeks and months creating narratives in my head. Oh, she really likes me because she looked at me this way. And when I said that joke, she kind of smiled and then she looked back. So that, I could tell that she really likes me. Of course, I wasn't actually taking any action. I wasn't putting it on the line to actually ask her on a date. And the only way that you can really verify any of this nonsense is okay, ask her on a date. Does she come out or does she make excuses? Like the rubber has to hit the road. And I think a lot of guys will get caught in the delusion phase with women.
The reality is, I think that's such a key point. Get feedback from reality, because reality is your God. It never lies. Yeah. And that's what you should pin yourself as close to as possible, as the overarching, that's the thing I want to stick to like glue, which is, send the message. Does she reply? Ask the date. Does she come out on the date? escalate. Is she in my bed? Is she then messaging me after to see me again? And if it's none of those, she's not interested, and you go and find new leads and get better. 100%. So stick to reality like glue. I'm just going to shut the door. Give me 1 second.
Right. Okay. Yeah, put your questions in the chat, guys, by the way, if you haven't already. So he says, big up, Troy Francis. Keep up the YouTube videos. Absolutely, man. Plenty more coming your way. Get your questions in the chat and we'll deal with them in a little bit. Right. So the first point is men mistake politeness for attraction. Women are socially conditioned to be pleasant. A smile, a laugh, basic warmth. It doesn't mean interest. Baseline friendliness is not a green light. So this is the kind of thing that I'm talking about, because I think we can all kid ourselves. And I've done this, not now, but in the past, I would do this a lot. You know, oh, she laughs at my jokes. Oh, she smiled when I opened the door for her. Oh, great. Okay, obviously I can tell she's interested. But once again, the only way you really know is by saying to her, hey, listen, there's something cool about you. You look cute. I'd like to take you for drinks. I know this really cool place. How about Thursday? And that, it really is as simple as that, isn't it? And then she's either going to go, yeah, that sounds great. And you're like, okay, cool. Wear a short red dress or whatever you want to say. Or she goes, oh, you know what? I'm kind of busy Thursday, blah, blah, blah. You know, I've got a boyfriend. That's how you know. All of this other bollocks of like how you think she looks at you or how you interpret her signals. It's all nonsense. None of it fucking matters. All that matters in this game are results.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, it's even actually slightly dangerous for guys if she replies, because some women like the attention, so she'll reply and string the guy along. The real way of finding out is she interested or not is if she doesn't reply. That in girl world is a dismissal, right? She's either making a point of, if you've seen her for a bit, she's making a point to stamp her foot and test you, or she's just plainly not interested. But either way, it's a sign of disinterest. If a woman doesn't reply, it's like, and the reverse happens. If you want to get a reaction from a girl and piss her off, she sends you a message, just don't even reply. Because in girl world, that's saying, no, you're not even in the vicinity worth a reply, you know? So you've got to, it's not her, it's not, oh yeah, she's going to, message me in a month. Like I had it yesterday. I approached a girl just around here, quite cute, whatever. Conversation went really well and sent her a message. No response, right? And I've just got to, you've got to interpret that as she's just not fucking it. NFI, just not fucking interested. And it's fine. If you're comfortable with rejection, you're comfortable with girls not, you see this as a screening process to get to the know as quickly as possible. Feedback from reality, she's not interested. Right, great. I have time to go and approach another 5 women. Not going to waste any more mental bandwidth from her. Done. Next.
But guys will then overanalyze the individual things because so something like that particular experience. So the guy might then be saying, "Oh, but," and then they'll leave like a 20-minute voice note going, "Oh yeah, but when I approached her and she was wearing this green jumper, and I really like green jumpers, so I thought I'd approach." And then I said this thing about Portugal, and it turns out she's been to Portugal as well, which is really cool. And then they'll go through this whole conversation, and basically they're trying to build a case of look how much she likes me. And then, so then, why did she not respond? And it either comes out as, what did I do wrong in that moment? Which is, I guess, a valid question. But also it can come out as butthurt of like, well, she should respond because we had a great interaction. And it's like you as we were saying to a client yesterday, you can't judge it. You can't judge your game or your whatever on single individual cases because who fucking knows? Maybe she just fell off a cliff. I mean, we don't know what happened to that girl. It's unknowable. So you can analyze that individual encounter. You could say, well, maybe I wasn't, maybe I should have been a bit more playful, or, I wasn't wearing my lucky shirt or something. But you don't know. What you have to do is, which you obviously do, is you're talking to people all the time. So you're looking at it over months. You're looking at it over hundreds of encounters over months. You're not just looking at one individual one. And this is guys with not much abundance will obsess about individual cases when it's valueless to do so.
Yeah, completely. And this is why we're massive on this idea of tracking your stats. So it's facts, not feelings, And you just literally put in, we've got if you want to access this, it's a very simple just template. You can open a group with yourself on WhatsApp, info@jamestuss.com or troy@realtroyfrance.com will send you the tracker. And it's a way of just tracking your results over time, being a social scientist, right? No attachment to outcome, and just putting approach number 1 for the day, Monday, whatever, today. Monday, approach number 1, comment or the approach. It's me. I saw a cute blonde girl. I waved at her, said, "Oh, you look great." She walks away. What happened? She walks away. Contact details, no. Learning points, be a bit more smiley, maybe push a bit further in the conversation. That's it. Send that on the group. Next one. And we just say get to 100, right? With no attachment to outcome, just the facts. And then we track patterns, see where we're at. And it's a very good way of keeping you sane. I came from a sales background and they always talked about KPIs, key performance indicators, which is every no gets you close to a yes. You just think, right, refine the process, right? Because you're never going to run out of options, right? Cold calling is, TT's old book name, 16 minutes in. But that's it. It's just a process, refining it, not letting the ego get involved, just unemotionally almost tracking it. Be emotional in the conversation, but be unemotional with the results and just tracking it forward. That's the best way of doing it.
Yeah. Okay, point number 2. Proximity is not intent. She danced near me on a crowded dance floor. Proximity is logistics.
I know who this relates to. One of our clients. I know who that is.
Well, I was not referring to anybody in particular, but
many. Actually, we've had a few messages from guys all saying similar things, and they're all bloody Americans. You bloody Yanks! Like just because she's dancing 1 second and then goes for a dump and then leaves the bathroom does not mean she's fantasizing about you on the way home. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, interest requires escalation, not interpretation. So yeah, I mean, this is the classic kind of thing. So guys that go to clubs and bars and whatever, and again, I can't be too critical because I used to fall into this way of thinking myself. But it's sort of like you're on the dance floor, you're not really talking to anybody. You might be saying a couple of, oh hey, I like your hat or something like that, but you're not really doing proper what we're trying to promote here, which is actually going and having a conversation. But you're kind of dancing, you feel like you're being social, whatever. And then some girl comes and dances quite near to you. And in the moment, you can think, oh yeah, she must be, surely she wouldn't be dancing this close to me if she wasn't sexually interested in me. And you can build a whole case for that in your mind. And it feels good because then you're like, hey, I can see I'm radiating this thing and women are drawn to me. And I know if I'd have just talked to her, she would have ended up in bed with me. But, I didn't. But whatever, that doesn't matter. The fact is I could tell she was interested. It's a great story to tell yourself, because you feel good. It's like, yeah, I'm the man because that girl danced near to me for 3 songs, last night at the club. But what have you really got out of that? Absolutely nothing. And it's completely untested anyway, because what you should have done is said to her, hey, listen, they do some really cool cocktails here. Let's go and grab a drink. Try to take her off the dance floor. Or try to, when she leaves, when she walks off to do something, go over and try and have a conversation with her, try and get her phone number right. The things that actually put you on the line where you might get rejected, you've got to lean into those things. Because otherwise, all you're left with really is fantasy. It's like, yeah, that girl in the red dress, she was dancing super near me. Yeah, man, I can tell she liked me. I never put it to the test because I was too scared, but I could tell she liked me. Well, great. That's a great thing that you can masturbate to alone and sort of, big yourself up with. But it's got you absolutely nowhere in the real world.
Yeah, I should be back now. I've just switched my mobile data. Apologies. I did hear all of that. It just blocked out with the visual. So I can hear all good and see. And I'm going to upgrade myself I'm going to treat myself from low definition to standard definition.
Oh, very good.
Not that you need to see our faces for Crime Watch anyway.
Yeah. So do you agree with that?
Yes. And it comes down to just not telling yourself stories. There's either the girl you want to fuck in your bed and you're fucking up, or you're not, right? And that's it. Like I'm guilty of this as well, spinning yarns to myself about women, leads on my phone, women potentially interested. They're not fucking interested, right? Well, I used to systematically do a cleansing each week, like a Serbian war tribunal in Bosnia, where at the end of the week I just delete all of the leads. that I'd collected that just weren't responding, because I'm just like, out of sight, out of mind. There's nothing to be gained here. Now, I don't actually do that now, because I will travel a lot and use WhatsApp statuses to raise the dead, we call it. And women will come back on you, because I know what I'm doing there. But for many years, I would literally just each week cleanse the leads, because then also that forces you to be like, confront reality. Okay, there's no one in my bed, right? There's no one actually interested in me at the moment. No one's messaging me. I've got to get back out there and make it happen. So it fuels this kind of action taking mindset, which is what we want to instill in guys as well.
Yeah, I mean, the only way to know 100% is she into me or not is she in your bed? I mean, let's face, that's what it comes to.
Or at least messaging you, because you could obviously be like we are. You've got a few girls in Colombia, you know, I'm in Brazil, different cities where I'm usually based, and there's some sort of back and forth. She's communicating, right? But if she's just not even communicating, she's not writing love songs about you on her OnlyFans 9 months later. I'm sorry, she's not fucking interested. That's it.
Yeah. The important thing is just getting into reality. And I actually realized this quite a number of years ago when I was getting into this stuff in London, because I mean, look, like all of us, I too have fallen into fantasy at various times in my life about individual women, and like, oh, I can tell she likes me, but it was just this one thing, and maybe if her dog hadn't eaten her homework, she would have, you know, come on that date with me. But we sort of make narratives, we make excuses for them to protect our ego. But I then came to a realization at one point when I was doing a lot of, I was going out a lot. I was, you know, going to Tiger and all that stuff, you know. And I was like, look, none of this matters. I mean, yeah, it's great to go in and have a good interaction. Yes, it's great because you're improving your skill set. This is what we encourage the whole time. But even that, in the end, it doesn't really mean anything unless there's a tangible outcome. It doesn't mean fucking anything, because as I said at the first point, I mean, women are also, you know, like all of us, we're kind of programmed to be polite, aren't we? In general, women don't really want to hurt guys' feelings. I mean, yes, sometimes.
Especially the feminine is programmed to respond to masculine leadership. So women will, unless they're really trying to publicly crucify you, they're really going to kick up a fuss, and they're rarely actually even going to say no on the initial exchanges. They're just going to hand over the number.
Yeah, I mean, look, we do get examples of girls, you know, being bitchy. I mean, often in clubs, or, you know, they've had a few drinks and the guy comes like, fuck off, and, you know, she throws the red wine over you, like that story that you've got. I mean, that happens, but they tend to be outliers. A lot of the time, girls are quite, you know, they're kind of people pleasers. You know, like they don't like rejecting guys. It's awkward. It makes them feel bad. They'd rather not have the problem. You know. So what they will often do instead is they will make positive signs, but then just not follow through. And you've got to be very aware of that. And look, also here's the other thing. So sometimes, like the interaction you described, sometimes you do have a really good interaction, and you do genuinely feel like there was something there, and maybe there was. Maybe there was in that moment, because it certainly happened to me plenty of times. You know, great interaction. You sense that vibe. Maybe you even like make out with her or something like that. And then you know, you message her and it's crickets. You don't hear anything, and you're like, what happened? Well, I would congratulate myself in that instance. Okay, I had a great interaction.
Process focus. Congratulations.
That's really good. That's really good as far as my process is concerned. But as far as the bigger meaning of that interaction, it's kind of irrelevant. You know, it kind of doesn't matter, because the actual outcome of what I hoped would happen didn't happen. So it's not really a win. You can't sort of then make an excuse for her or go, I mean, you can in a way, because you could say, well, I can tell I'm attractive because I had that interaction and it went well and it was good. But that's all you can say. You can't then build some big narrative in your head, because obviously on some level, like you said yesterday, in the end, if she really wants to see you, she'll crawl over broken glass to do it. And if she's not doing that, then it's like, well, she can't have been that into it, you know? Unfortunately, it's a pill to swallow.
It's psychological narcissism the mistake guys make, is thinking the thoughts and feelings they have about women in their head extend to the whole of the universe around them. You don't know ever what's going on a woman's head, right? What her thoughts, her aspirations, her dreams are. She's living a separate reality. And the only way of knowing if she's on the same page as you is she responding to you and wanting to see you and physically make it easy? Because if she's not, NFI, She's not fucking interested.
Well,
and guys spin these narratives going, oh, well, yeah, she's going to be back in 6 months. She's gone off to babysit kangaroos. She told me it's fine. No, it's not.
yeah.
She's not into it. Right. And women like validation. So they like, this is the cruel bit about the dating market. They are more than happy to have these loser hangers on messaging them, making them feel good on a lonely Sunday on a come down. But they have no intention of putting you inside her. Right. And the reality is, when you try and meet up with her, does she see it or not? There was a great article we can also send to you guys because we've got access to Good Looking Losers archive. So if you send us email, info@jamestoss.com or realtroyfrance.com, we will send it to you. But the article I'm referring to is called The Definition of Game is Killer Instinct. And the point he makes is, that's it. Fuck balancing your chakras. Fuck being more social. You go for the girl and she either comes with you or it's dead in the water, right? And I like that because it simplifies the whole thing. Yeah. Because you go all in on the approach and she's either in or she's out. Really, that's it.
And the reason for banging on about all of this is because we've made these mistakes ourselves, but we also have clients. I mean, quite a few clients that we work with actually, there's some species of this, isn't there? Who are fantasizing and going,
because they're living in scarcity and they don't really like taking action. So they cling to the hope of like these 2 or 3 girls that actually entertain their conversation, being like, no, Kirsty's going to come round. So no, she's fucking not. Someone's fucking her and it ain't you, chief. So get back out there. So get that tattooed on your knapsack. The only definition of game is killer instinct, or killer instinct is the definition of game. Is she in your bed? Did you pull her quickly to your bed? If not, next one.
Yeah, none of the rest of it really matters.
None of it matters apart from fucker, because then you have some semblance of relevance in her life. Because until then, you mean nothing to her. I'm sorry, but you have no real relevance until you've actually physically entered her.
Mind you, I had the opposite. I kind of had the opposite problem though, because I was.
What, she entered you?
No.
I see it in Colombia.
No, this girl, this lady who shall remain nameless. I've seen her around over the past couple of months, and I thought that there was something. She would look at me and.
Oh no, it's the old thing. It's exactly what we're talking about.
No. But so I thought I was thinking, and this is in a sort of social situation, so it's not. It wasn't straightforward for me to go and do something about it. But I thought I think there's a vibe here. I think I can tell. And then it turns out I was actually right. But that's brought me into a whole other world of problems now, which we talked about.
So you have no interest, but you know she's keen on you.
Well, we talked about this offline. It's a problematic situation. So, but it turned out that I was actually right about those signals, and actually she escalated it massively. And I'm like, oh fuck, what do I do about this? But that's a very niche situation. That's not an average situation. I don't know if that means that my calibration for these things is quite good now, so that I can genuinely see when there is something going on. I think, and possibly that's true. And if so, that's a pat on the back for me, I guess. But I think a lot of guys, particularly who are sort of quite new to this, they don't have that finely tuned antennae for these things, and so they'll take the wrong signals and misinterpret them positively. You know what I'm saying? Do you think your perception of this gets better as you go on?
Yeah, it does. You're more switched on, of course. And you're also less needy because I'm big on this idea of there's not some holy grail number you reach and like then you're not needy with women. But I do think when you, like us, we're not to blow our own trumpets, but we've suffered a lot of failure. We've got a lot of success because we've just put in decades of reps. So I'm not as thirsty as I once was, and that in itself means you're more relaxed in the entire moment and you're more perceptive to the signals as well.
Well, people watching this are lucky because we've wasted our lives, so you don't have to.
Exactly. We're trying to shortcut that process for you so you can still live normal, cool lives. Just come to Colombia as your dirty little side secret as a business expense because you can put emotional intelligence training you never tell any of your friends and family about. Charge around, learn this shit, bang a few smoke shows, take it back home and have an abundant data life. That's how you should use us. Like a stripper uses a pole in secret, on the roadside secret. Don't tell anyone about it. So don't do what we are
the dirty little secret of the modern gentleman.
100%.
So the next point, number 3, this has been said before, but it's worth reiterating. Contact details are no longer wins. Phone numbers don't mean attraction. Instagram follows don't mean attraction. Email addresses, if anyone's still getting those, don't mean attraction. The only real metric is follow through. Does she invest after? So it's a point that has actually been made for quite a long time by different people. But yeah, you get her phone number. Again, we get a little buzz of dopamine, don't we? It's like, oh yeah, I got a number, great, woohoo. Of course, again, it means nothing. It means absolutely fuck all. It only means something if she responds positively, and if she keeps responding, and then if she comes out on a date as a result of that. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything, because a lot of the time, girls will just give you their contact details to get rid of it.
Right. And this is, we're still very big on the idea. I know American viewers, WhatsApp is not big in the US necessarily. I know some people have it, especially if you've traveled. But still get the phone number. It's still way better than Instagram, because you get buried in the messages on Instagram. Anyone can cold DM on Instagram. Get the WhatsApp details, or if you're in the US and people aren't using WhatsApp, get the SMS details, because you can't fish those online. She's personally given it to you, so you're automatically more likely to just stay in that attention. And what I would recommend to do as well to guys is text within half an hour. Foreplay begins at hello, right? So you're not doing it as a separate thing, like, what do I say now? It's like, no, just continuing the conversation, bit of feedback, reference, humor, from the conversation. Did you buy that fucking cream bun? Did you have that cream pie after me? Winky, don't say that. But something about some that foreign sausage. But you can banter. You want to continue the conversation. Again, text quickly, because if she's not keen, when you send the message off for half an hour, or she takes 2 days to reply, that in itself is an indication, again, using reality as your feedback tool, that she's actually not interested at all or lacking interest. So you're looking for a fast reply. This stuff's the frame I mentioned the other day on the stream is women are the playful co-conspirators, right? You're in this adventure together. She should be a willing participant. And if she's keen, she will be. And the whole process will be really easy and really fun. And if she's not, it's probably not a good fit. It's really that simple. If she makes it difficult, it's not a good fit. If you're confused, is she Troy and Tuss, does she like me or not? No. If you're doing the kind of horny Shakespeare to like one, she's not interested. She's either making it really easy and she's keen, or she's not. So it means what I'm looking for when I approach a girl, do I vibe physically with her looks wise, and do we have an internal conversational vibe? And if it's a green tick for both on both sides, I know it's going to be fun and easy. And anything else, I screen it out, and that's it. And then the only differentiating factor between people like us who get results and everyone else is we're willing to do the reps until we find the girls we vibe with.
Yeah,
you're not going to vibe with every girl. It's probably going to be like 1 in 10 where you hit that physical vibe and the actual conversational vibe. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the process.
Well, Mr. Eclipse, who's a regular contributor to the stream, says, "Isn't text within half an hour a bit too forward and desperate looking? Not having a go. I'm not having a go, lads." I've just heard the opposite. I was told that one should wait 2 to 4 days at least. Well,
4 days to send an initial message. What planet are you on, Chief? You don't live in the North Pole.
That's incredibly old dating advice. That from years ago, that was like, oh, wait 3 days till you call her or something. I mean, look, we live in the age of TikTok. We live in the age of Instagram Reels. Everybody is on their phones 24/7, pretty much. Nobody's got an attention span anymore. Our brains are fried. She's also got a million options coming into her DMs every 2 minutes or whatever. Right? So no, you need to be on the crest of the wave of the momentum, right? You've met her, you've had a great interaction. Message her, start the conversation going that night. I mean, you could give your response to this in a second, but the way that I know something is on is basically I'll meet her. That I can sense, because I've got a certain calibration. I can sense the signs from her are looking pretty positive. I then message her. The first message is always a tester, because she may just not reply. Okay, fine. If she does reply, then usually, but the same day or the same evening, we're in a bit of a back and forth on text. And sometimes it can get a bit flirty. Sometimes it can get a little bit, the temperature can be raised even then. And then I'll be saying, okay, do you want to meet for drinks? I know this cool place. How about tomorrow or Wednesday or whatever it is? That's how you know it's on. Anything else, and it has to happen fast as well. Has to happen fast because
especially in the age we live in, right? Instant gratification. I would even say, we travel to say Bogota, we'll be there for a couple of weeks or a week, whatever. I will be layering into the conversation when I meet her. If there's a vibe, let's meet a bit later. I'm with clients now, which I usually would be because I'm approached with the clients, but let's meet tonight, right? Let's grab a quick drink. And if I'm keen, right, it's just move it forward fast. He who hesitates masturbates. And there's never been more true than in March 2026, right? Because everything is so fast now. Attention span is all over the place. Everyone's hooked on fast opening. So if there's a vibe there, you've got to capitalize on it very quick. We often recommend to clients in Latin America go for the instant date as well and try and pull a home.
Yeah,
because you can do that. Women are promiscuous. Women want to fuck, and they meet the right guy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily game on, but why not try? Killer instinct.
I would say in this day and age, I think the idea of holding back for a day or 2 days or 2 or 3 days, 2 to 4 days. Can you imagine 4 days later? She's not going to remember who you are, bro. She's not going to be like, oh, Eclipse. I can't wait for Eclipse. I can't wait for that Eclipse message to drop in my inbox. You know, Eclipse, is it me you're looking for? She's going to be like, who the fuck is this Eclipse chode? She's not even going to fucking remember you. Then it's immediate block. So no, you want to ride the crest of the wave. Things happen very quickly in the modern world, and it's not just in dating; it's just everything. You know, you sit on your phone looking through this mindless garbage. You know, 2-second, 3-second videos. People just haven't got the fucking time, the attention span.
I mean, I've already what seemed like big news to me yesterday: the Iranian supreme leader, after 40 years, getting killed, right, by Trump and Israel. Now, already, I've moved on. And that's the death of like one of the biggest world leaders, right? So imagine like a random girl having a conversation with you when she's getting hit up by 500 dudes a day on Instagram. Yeah. Right. And also
the AI sort of videos about that started coming out immediately, didn't they?
Yeah. You'll be sending them.
Did you see that one of Trump doing on stage playing piano, doing Bohemian Rhapsody? But it was a song about it was Iranian Rhapsody.
That's hilarious. The other obvious giveaway from Eclipse's behavior here is, man, you're obviously not out approaching, because if you were, you'd know that the 2 to 4 day strategy isn't. You just know that's not what you'd be doing. So I'd encourage you to get out the fucking house, or even better, send us a fucking email, info@james or Troy@realtroyfinance.com, and join us for a boot camp, right? So then, again, another hypothetical question means you're not actually out there taking action. So we're going to discard it. I want to go back to the old rules of we are only answering questions where it's not a stupid hypothetical. It's the guys are actually out there taking action as reward for that. Answer your questions. Yeah. But if I sense this hypothetical mind wank, it's out. Yeah. Because you're not.
All right. Well, let's go to the next point anyway. So men overvalue micro signals. One compliment, one long eye contact, one playful comment. Men build entire fantasies on fragments. Attraction is sustained momentum, not isolated signals. So again, Carrot, what's your take on that?
He makes that point in Art of Seduction, which I really like. Just if guys don't want to listen to the whole fucking book, because it is a bit like it's nice to listen to. Robert Greene's a good writer, but the first chapter where he talks about seduction is momentum, and if you go through your day, just dropping a little comment there, playful smile there, blah blah blah, seducers are momentum builders basically. So each day you wake up, spawn in one of your 28,000 days on planet Earth, and you go, right, forget all that's been. I'm going to be social today. You go out. The first few conversations a bit stagnant, whatever. By conversation 5 or 6, you're flying, and that's where the magic happens. So build momentum. I'm not sure that was the point we're trying to make here, but build momentum each day. That's your only social. Build momentum.
Yeah, build momentum. I think the point in this is also about the micro signals that she's giving out. So just another endorsement of this idea that you can't. Yeah, she smiles, she flicks her hair. But did you get her phone number? Did she come on a date with you? Did she sleep with you? Does she want to see you again after sleep? Those are the things that matter, And again, we talk to a lot of clients who one of the big things I think that I learned with all of this stuff was to get out of fantasy, and get into reality, because the only reality is she sitting across from you in the bar, or is she sitting next to you in the bar? Is she coming home with you? Those are the only real metrics that matter. All the rest of it, she smiled at me on Thursday, blah, blah, blah. Not great, but it doesn't fucking mean anything. You haven't turned the dial at all. And this is, again, the thing, because I think a lot of guys just hold back because they're afraid to put themselves on the line. So you don't really want to ask her on the date, because if you ask her on the date and she says no, that punctures the fantasy. So then you feel bad. But you've got to.
It's all ego dressing. So if we say to the guys now on the stream, which we're not going to do, but if we say, right, how many approaches you done last weekend? A lot of guys will go, oh, they'll fool themselves. It's the ego fantasy dressing. So no, I didn't do any this weekend, Tusk and Troy, but next weekend I'm going to. The few brave souls that actually have the cojones to stare at themselves in the proverbial David Goggins accountability mirror will go, 1. And we'll go, well, you should have done 19 more and you might have had a shot. So everyone is just constantly living in fantasy land. You have to hold your feet so close to the fire of reality, your souls burn.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the guys that do that are able to get real world feedback, take the action necessary, and have fucking options. But everyone else is living in this delusional mind game when they're not even being honest with themselves. Unless you're approaching 20 women a week, you're not doing cold approach. So I guarantee probably every single person watching this stream is not doing that, apart from us. Right. So no wonder you get mediocre results. No wonder you need to watch more of this nonsense about Stevie Jabber and cheese sandwiches and the game stuff. So the most actions cures all else, right? Action, reality rewards action, not intelligence, was the name of a very good clip I watched recently. It's true.
Yeah, exactly. Action. So the next point is you're evaluating effort on a male scale. So men think, if I made that effort, I'd be interested. Women operate from abundance. Her effort threshold is different. So with this, I think we're saying that, you think this is even the case with cold approach, because you think, oh, but I made the effort to approach her from across the bar. It took a load of balls to do that. She must like me as a result of that. And on average, if you do a ballsy approach, that is going to raise her likely attraction to you. But once again, she's operating from a place of extreme abundance. So she doesn't really care the effort that you put in. She doesn't really care that you've worked out for 6 years, or that you're wearing a designer t-shirt or anything. She doesn't really care, because she's coming at this from abundance. So, her perspective on everything is very different. But let's just go on to the next point now, which is more important, really, which is modern dating requires clear escalation. You can't just vibe and hope. You must move things forward, suggest logistics, create momentum. Clueless men
get to rejection quickly as possible. If you're not willing, if you're willing to go charge into rejection and not avoid it, you become a very powerful man with this stuff.
Yeah,
because you just see it as real world feedback. As there's two options: the girl is sexually available to you, or she's not. And the quicker you get to the point of either she is and she's in your bed, or she's not, and you move on to the next girl, the better. That's it. There's no ego rejection here. It's a filtering process. That's it. Because at any given time, there are a number of women sexually available, and most aren't. And women will waste your time because they like validation. They like to feel good. They want to feel wanted. But ultimately, that's it. Push towards sexual opportunity with you. She's in or she's out. So the quicker you do that, the more alpha you seem, because you're not waiting for her signals either. You're in a calibrated way, pushing it forward. You've got killer instinct, this kind of get laid or get lost mindset in a calibrated way. You're not going up to women on the fucking, by the bus stop and grabbing their tits, Bonaparte style, and tweaking them, trying to turn on an oven. You're going up, hey, you look great, a little bit of cheeky banter, right, give me your number, cool, or let's go for a quick coffee. Actually, you know what, I'm not interested. Okay, no worries, have a great day. Don't get butthurt. Next one, right? That's it. Just drive it forward like relentlessly, because we're only ever going to run out of time, not leads. There's 4 billion women on planet Earth. It's time that's your enemy.
Yeah.
Right. Because one day we die.
Yeah, exactly. So you need to be leaning into rejection. I mean, I was talking to this with a client of ours yesterday, actually, and I was saying, you want to be a little bit more ruthless, not in a bad, horrible way, but your intent. You want to think, what is my intent here? Okay, I'm in, because he's in a foreign country at the moment, and he's there basically to have a holiday, but also to meet women, right? So it's like, okay, my intent is I want to meet women to actually date and maybe to actually come home with me. I'm not interested really in small talk, so you've got to be very focused on that. So you go up and you approach a woman, right? And maybe she responds well. Maybe it's great. Okay, do you get her number? Does she come on the date? Does she come back with you? If the answer is no, then fine, but just discard her, mentally discard her, move on to the next. It's like have the actual objectives been reached here? Her coming on a date with me? No. Okay, not fuck her in a bad way, but it's just no more mental headspace to that, because that's not my objective here. I think you've got to go in and be very like that, rather than then second guessing it and like, oh, well, I can tell she liked me because she was blah, blah, blah. But then, the dog ate her homework and she couldn't come and meet me for the drink. But it's all bollocks. It's all nonsense. None of that shit matters.
It's ego protection. It's stroking the ego, isn't it? Protect yourself. But I think we see a lot of guys will play not to lose rather than play to win. Playing to win looks like you escalate fast, you grab a hand, you say, follow me, let's go on an adventure, let's go and grab a drink. You message her later, hey, look, come out, wear something sexy so we match, winky face. You're willing to lose her throughout the process. You're playing to win, to get her into bed as quickly as possible in a calibrated, seductive way. You're not playing not to lose. You're not going up and kind of playing the conversation nice and asking for Starbucks and hoping she kind of gets your intent. Fuck all that, right? Think about a very, stereotypical movie alpha male, right? Let's just think of the one we always use, Daniel Craig's James Bond. He's not dilly-dallying around like being like, shall I text Larissa, right? It's just like, fuck it, you're coming with me. And she's in or she's out. And so you want to act a bit more like, I'm a fucking boss here. You're entering my reality, and I think it's good, and I'm going to show you a great time. And if she wants to be a part of that, great. And if she doesn't, also great, but there's no bitterness. You just move on. Next one.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say you don't have to do this, but I would say it's almost good mental clarity to almost not respond to final messages if they are not what you want to hear. Like she says, oh, well, I really wanted to meet you, but I couldn't because, 100%.
Don't reply to that.
Yeah,
just delete the number. And even if you open it, not being butthurt, but I'd even just delete you don't even have to open the message, delete the whole thing. Done. Out of your mind completely. Next person.
Like, yeah, exactly. Because we had it's a very small point, but we had a client yesterday, and he was saying that this girl basically blew him out. But then he was like, she was leaving town to go somewhere else, and he was like, oh, but have a nice flight. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's a nice, polite thing to do, but even in that small action, you're giving too much headspace to somebody who's effectively just blown you out. Why even do that? Just be like, okay, I've read the message. I'm not even going to respond. It's not being bad to her. It's just like, that's not, whether she's getting a flight or not is now absolutely not your concern. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a tiny thing, isn't it? But it's about mindset.
It's wanting to always feel good from the interaction. Look, you're going to get a lot of women saying no to your sexual advances. You can't make yourself and her feel good by going, oh, it's okay, babe. No problem.
Yeah.
It's just like, fuck all that. She's basically, I wouldn't say she's disrespecting you, but she's not playing ball with you. Why do you need to text her? If a guy you didn't know asked to meet up with you for some strange reason, you agreed, but then he went, oh, I'm cancelling. You wouldn't say, oh, mate, no problem. You'd just be like, fuck that. You're not invested, right?
And again,
so don't, just because you got a tits and a pussy doesn't mean, oh yeah, it's all fine. You're hedging your bets, hoping she turns around a couple of weeks, go, oh, I'm back in town now. You're so nice. I'm going to come and see you. It's not going to happen, right? She's not interested.
It's a really small point, but it's like mental point of origin, isn't it? Because it's like, okay,
it's nice guy behavior, right?
I wanted a certain outcome. She didn't go along with that. Now, that's not to say you then send her a text like calling her out, like, oh, you bitch. You absolutely don't do that, because that's really needy and overreactive as well. But you don't need to sort of placate her and go, oh well, it was lovely to meet you anyway. Have a nice flight. Maybe our paths will cross again one day. I mean, just don't bother. Because would James Bond do that? Would Daniel Craig do that?
There's two types of client. There's two types of client. There's either the people-pleasing nice guy who will justify any decision the girl makes not to see him with nice messages and flowers and rainbows, or there's the angry guy, and we have both. The angry guy is like, the girl didn't go along with my agenda. She's a fucking whore. See, that's not good as well, because you're carrying this internal business, and women are very adept at picking up on this. Don't think you can just unleash that to us about a girl, and women aren't going to pick up that vibe you carry. It's going to it's like a vein of poison running through you. You've got to extinguish. Girls have all fucked us over, right? I got into this from pain. So did Mr. Francis. So did anyone I know that's teaching this stuff. But just because I ate a bad pizza does not mean I hate all Italian pizza restaurants, right? So yes, you might have been toxic. You might have been deficient in the dating process. You might have made some mistakes. Great. That's in the past. Scrumple it up, respawn the next day. Yeah, all good, right? But it doesn't mean the next person is going to fuck you over. So we've got to drop that bitterness as well. We see that a lot.
It's not about bitterness at all. I mean, she could live her life. She could do what she
wants. Free agent. All is fair in love and war. All is fair in love and war. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You play the game.
So the next one, silence is often the answer. If she doesn't text back, if she flakes, if she forgets to reply, that's data. Clueless men rationalize more.
This is the clearest sign she's not interested. Now, there is, if we're putting caveats in, if you've been seeing the girl, right, for a period of time, and there's some investment, you fucked her, there is something there. Sometimes women will selectively ignore you because they're testing a game, they're testing for investment, they want to see what you do. But still, in that case, and it's happened to me recently with a girl, I won't reply. So whether she's not fucking interested or she's testing me, our action in reality is still the same, which is I never double text, I don't reply. She's got to reach out to me because it is a frame battle, right? And I see myself as the more prizable asset. That's it. It's really that simple, right? I see myself as the adult masculine. She's the childlike feminine, the 8-year-old girl making noise. I don't really take her seriously not in a condescending way, in a loving way, but I'm unmoved by her behavior. Let girls be girls, right? That's my frame. So yeah, completely on point. A woman not responding to you is a massive sign of disinterest or a test.
Yeah.
Either way, you interpret it the same way, which you don't fucking do anything. You just move on, cultivate new leads. And then ironically, because you mentally moved on, the universe, because you're detached, rewards you again by get the girl guaranteed when she feels somehow that you're flirting with other women, you've got more leads, she gets back in fucking touch, right? So the way to solve it is move the fuck on.
Yeah, I mean, the very worst thing you can do, which I actually did used to do, but this was a long time ago, like, literally a couple of decades ago, but I would sometimes send out texts to try to rationalize with them, or sort of like, oh, I'm really surprised you haven't replied because we had such a great vibe, and I'm, surely, it's worth at least having a conversation, shit like that, like a long paragraph. And obviously they just ignore it. And you absolutely don't want to be doing anything like that.
Yeah, because you feel like a clown as well, because you're just like, oh no, I've sold myself to the devil, but my self-respect is so out with her. Yeah. It's like, yeah, you just move on. It doesn't matter what's going on in her head. It's not your job to understand it. All your job is to do is to see reality for what it is, which is she's not engaging with you. That means she's not interested. That's it. At some stage, you may circle back round and send your message, and then you can decide. Women always message for a reason. She is interested again, or something's happened, but you can decide: do I really want to entertain this or not? Because if she's ghosted you for 3 months, most unless she's Mother Teresa, she's probably going to have had some sausage in and around her mouth, right? So she's probably sidelined you as the non-best option, and maybe that's blown up, and she's turning, coming back around for another go. So you've got to think: do I genuinely want to entertain this, or am I just considering entertaining it because I'm living in fucking scarcity and I'm not approaching anyone else?
Yeah, yeah. And the title of that point was "Silence is often the answer," and I think your silence is often the answer, because she doesn't reply, you don't do anything, you don't send a follow-up text, you just do nothing, or she says she's going to come and meet you on a date, and then she makes an excuse and she can't come, and she sends you a message saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry." Don't reply. Don't do anything. Silence.
Make silence your default option, and you're never going to fuck up by being needy. And ironically, a lot of women will boomerang back into your life because they're like, you're the one guy who is detached and doesn't seem to mind either way. I don't mind what happens, right? This just spiritual guru, all of his followers following around for 30 years, Jay Krishnamurti. He's got some great principles, but they were all like, "Guru, what's the secret?" And he goes, "I'm going to tell you my secret." When he was close to death, he was like 70. Touring around for 50 years, they all get their notepads out going, "Well, what's it going to be?" And he goes, "My secret is I don't mind what happens," right? And it's unattached action. It's like, I'm going to go all in, but if she stays, prays, leaves, I'm okay. There's no change in my behavior. That's okay. And ironically, that is catnip for women, because they're just like, he can take me or leave me. Fuck, I want him, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so the next point, number 8, is sexual intent must be present early. If you lead with friendliness only, you get filed under safe. Safe is invisible. Attraction requires edge. So I think that's
They've said, oh, maybe we should bring back the edge. Edge, what is it? Edge 25 now. I mean, we've been wheeling it out for years, but maybe we should bring back the edge course. I quite like going to that seedy Istanbul hotel with you, Mr. Cass, and filming it. And no one knows what the fuck we're up to. And then the crumpled notes are about to play, and they're like, "No crumpled notes in this establishment, Mr. Englishman." And we're like, "No, it's not what it looks like."
Well, they caused quite a lot of hassles, didn't they? That particular establishment,
It's the last thing you want when you're trying to bang a prostitute is have someone knocking on the door and, "Sir, no prostitutes." I mean, come on, what are they thinking? Jesus Christ, they're so disrespectful.
No tact at all.
But the way to solve everything, any crumpled note behavior, the way to solve it, any issues that arise from crumpled note behavior, is more crumpled notes. So he opens the door, I shove him notes, he gets lost as well. So the cure all is crumpled notes.
Absolutely, yeah. You can't out crumple the crumpled notes. Point number 9: modern women filter fast. In 2026, attention spans are shorter. You get one first impression, one escalation window, one vibe check. Clueless hesitation equals elimination. So yeah, I mean, you've got to move quickly, right? In a calibrated way, in a cool, gentlemanly way, but you've got to move quickly, because otherwise, and this is the thing, guys going on 5 dates and all this kind of stuff. It's like you need to make things happen quicker, because otherwise you're not really a blip on her mental register, are you? In the early stages, or you're a blip, but you're not significant. You're not anything significant in her consciousness. So
there's another article again we'll send you called "Lover versus Provider," but the way we encourage guys to meet women obviously is through cold approach. So if you roll up to a girl in a coffee shop, you tell her you look good, you flirt with her, you create some sort of chemistry, which is you understanding how to run a conversation and flirt and tease. Attraction's not a choice, remember. She's expecting you to be the guy who fucks her very fast on the first date. And if you lack that congruency, she's going to sideline you as you don't get it, because you've met her in a very ballsy way. Think of the pussification of man, how unable men are to even say hello to a girl sober now. You've rolled up, you've created chemistry, you look good, you're vibing. She thinks she's put you in the fast sex guy box. So if you go on the date and you don't do that, you know, you've got one chance really. And this was something that stung me back in the day. I got very good at the party trick of the 10-minute conversation on the street, but I was clueless when it came to escalating on dates, because that's also a learned skill, and I learned. But I was getting very harshly judged, and women would absolutely shut that window. They'd be like, no, this guy doesn't get it, I'm not going to bang him. And they'd just kind of leave the day in a bit of a huff. So think about the congruency of what you're presenting here. If you want to do what we suggest, approach girls on the street, they're going to expect you to be the guy who has sex with them fast as well.
Yeah, indeed. And then point number 10, action. Replace fantasy with feedback. Instead of guessing, escalate earlier, test intent directly, suggest dates quickly, observe response speed on messages, track follow through, date multiple women early. And most importantly, stop rewarding yourself emotionally for almost. Only reward outcomes. So almost. So
is that slightly dangerous though? Because I think for a lot of guys, there's a bit of a leap there, isn't there, at the beginning? And I'd say actually a rewarding, focused, good emotional process is very important, because you don't have the rest.
That's a good point, because I was trying to sort of hedge my bets a little bit when we were talking about this earlier, because on the one hand, as I say, in a bigger sense, having a great interaction with a girl, getting a phone number, it doesn't mean anything, because you. Like, yeah, that's great, but you haven't really got to where you wanted to get to, which is a date and everything else. But at the same time, and again, it's holding two slightly conflicting thoughts in mind at the same time, particularly if you're quite new to it, it is valuable because you're strengthening the social muscle and you're practicing the process. So you can congratulate yourself with that bit. But what you can't do is then in your head go, that was sort of a win, because I could tell, because she smiled at me, that she actually wanted to have sex with me. It's just she didn't have sex with me.
It's basically not spinning the yarn of the fantasy story. So drop all stories related to it. Was the action you took clean? Yes, good. Am I consistently doing that? Yes, good. This girl now goes in my bed. Great, right? So reward yourself for the act, the process, and sticking to reality without additional stories. I think that's probably the key.
Indeed. And then the closing for this is really, the brutal truth isn't that women are impossible. It's that men are narrating interactions through hope instead of evidence. Cluelessness feels optimistic, but it's actually self-protective denial.
Yes,
awareness hurts at first, but it restores control.
I love this idea of this. For those of you that haven't read the book, David Goggins' "Can't Hurt Me," his first one. He's got this idea, this accountability mirror, where he talks to himself 5 minutes at the end of each day and just goes, did I do what I said I was going to do, or am I fooling myself? So you can do this like a social version of this. You can just mark yourself at the end of each day. Was I social? How many conversations did I start with cute girls? You know, how playful was I? How flirty was I? You can just be quite objective about this stuff and just not fool yourself. Because if you are taking the action and you're adjusting it, getting better, you will get results. But you've got to be... The ego's so clever with this stuff to try and get us out of doing what we need to do. So when we've all been there, I mean, I've deluded myself for months over different women, leads, action taking. So I appreciate it's not an easy game, but the way it's always facts over feelings. Did you ultimately have 20 conversations a week with cute girls you didn't know? Right. No. Did you have 15? No. Did you have 10? No. Did you have 5? No. Did you leave the house? No. Right. There you go. That's the process, right? That's it. It's really that simple.
And actions speak louder than words as well. You've got to look at her actions, not what she says. Or I'm saying all of this stuff. I mean, there's a marked difference between if it's a girl that you've already slept with, you've already been intimate with, and then you're misinterpreting things, and that's still bad as well. But if you
there is more nuanced leeway with that, though. We both been there.
I'm thinking back now to a situation I had a while back where it was a girl that I'd had quite a serious, or I'd had quite an ongoing thing with, and then things had paused for a while, and then we were messaging again, and you get into that headspace where you're like, oh, but she messaged me like a wink emoji, so you could tell from that she's being a bit flirty there. Oh, blah blah blah, But even as I was falling into that thinking a little bit, and again, to excuse myself, this was a girl that I dated, I'd slept with, I spent a lot of time with. But even in thinking that, I was realizing, okay, but great, she's being a little bit flirty over text. But what does that actually translate into? Is she meeting me again? Is she sleeping with me again? No. So it's valueless. But all of us can fall prey to this way of thinking. But I think it's particularly bad for people who are sort of at the beginning of the journey, and they're probably misinterpreting signals that don't even have any merit anyway, But you've got to just think, okay, what are her actions? Is she coming out to meet me? Is she coming home with me? Are we, etc., etc. Real tangible things. That's all that counts.
Women also do this as well. I mean, I've had a girl I've banged once who's still in touch with me 2 years later, and I'm just an experiment. It sounds bad, but I'm just humoring response. But she's created this fantasy that she's in love with me, and it's almost a bit nutcase, but it just goes to show like humans, we thrive on stories. We're all guilty of this, but what we want to do is craft narratives and mythic stories in women that we're seeing, but not fall prey to these same stories ourselves with women.
Right? Yes, so
stories
I think where I would say that I am a reformed, clueless person is more at the front end, because I think I don't actually. I mean, look, maybe I could be prey to it again at some point. I don't know. But I think generally speaking, I don't really, if I just meet somebody, I don't then tend to build up a huge narrative in my head, because I will be very much focused on, well, okay, all of that's great, but is she actually coming out on the date? And if she does, then I'm just sort of like, okay, this is, for whatever reason, this one isn't going anywhere. Let's move on to the next thing,
And we're not saying don't enjoy the time with women. I really like seeing women in the early stages, right? The first few weeks, but very intense when I'm with them, but away from them, just see it for what it is, which is objective fact. I've fucked this girl 3 times. She's not yet the love of my life. We don't know each other that well. The sex is good. Just have that and always tell yourself out loud so you don't get caught in some fantasy. Or call yourself out in real time, like narrating to a third person perspective to yourself. Oh, John. Yeah, I have not John. Why not John? Jonathan, let's say. Jonathan, who's a current client of ours. Yeah, you've just met her you met 2 girls in the coffee shop today. They both seem quite keen. One of them's texting back. That's it. Objective fact. Not spinning this narrative. Oh, I can't wait to get Kirsty on a date and visiting, the fucking kids you're going to have. Because we're all guilty of this. The brain loves fantasy. It loves spinning a yarn, and it just sets you up for disappointment.
Yeah, it really does. I think this happens to girls as well, actually. But
no, it does happen to girls. And that's fine.
We're not talking to girls. We're not talking to girls.
Say again, sorry.
But no, actually, that is a good point, because also, like we've said, actually, I think yesterday in the stream, it's like girls are also fantasizing all the time about us, and we want to make sure that fantasy remains as intact as possible. So
you want to pull or fuel on that fire, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
so something like
you always think you're this mythic character, 100% for years on air. Keep her in your.
So
you don't want to do it the other way around.
So, and a way of fucking that up is doing like what a former client of ours did, which is basically start seeing a girl and then almost immediately she's round at his place 4 days a week, because that's just going to explode the fantasy. Whatever fantasy there was there is going to be completely fucking destroyed after about
completely torpedoed, and it was. And she came to say goodbye to him on the final day and didn't bang him after having sex with him multiple times before.
Yeah. So this is quite a good one. I used to be the guy who could get many dates from cold approach, but my conversation is low. What? My conversion is low. The problem is, how can a guy like this benefit from a boot camp? More reps won't solve the core issues.
Yes, it will. Your issue is the quality of your reps, because you're not getting. So hold on. Okay. So hold on. Sorry, just to go back through this. He's getting dates from cold approach, but his conversion on the dates is low. Is that correct?
Yes.
We will sit down with guys and watch their dates on the boot camp, right? So we can actually tailor the boot camp you come on to be some more in date focus, where we're sitting there, we're filming it, we're analyzing it in real time. But I would also say it's very unlikely because it never happens in all of our clients that your cold approach to date ratio is that good if you can't put on dates as well. But we went through this problem ourselves, so we understand.
Yeah, but the other thing to say is that, I mean, yes, when we do a boot camp, yes, it is a lot about approaching and going through reps and stuff like that. But we also cover dates. We also cover dating strategy with clients. If that really is your bottleneck, then we will specifically work on that, even to the point of you're on a date in the location, and then we will listen in, or we'll observe, or we can give feedback directly on the date. So it's not that all we're doing is approaching people and that's it. We cover a lot of different aspects. You know, we'll cover things like fashion, we cover things like hormones, we cover things like gym. I mean, there's all these different elements, you know, what to do in the bedroom even. I mean, not us, thank God, but there are people who will help us to teach that to you. So there's loads of stuff that we cover on boot camps. It's not
blow by blow in the bedroom.
It's not just, I'll go and talk to the girl in the coffee shop, right, talk to another one. I mean, there's a whole load more to it than that. This is quite amusing. I think there's some trolling going on here, I think. So I can't leave the house. I'm running a milk farm without parents. It's a 12-hour job, 365 days a year. And then third here says, third 7715 says, I have a friend who's in the same situation, runs a milk farm and putting out a 12-hour day, grafting day in, day out. Can we get a live stream specifically for all the milk farm owning day gamers out there?
There you go. Any more parish notices, or is that a wrap?
Why is he dating? Nobody is waiting in 2026. Don't know what that means, really.
We maybe talking about delaying for 2 to 4 days, possibly.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. What about daddy? What do you do when after many years of game, you start to hate women and no longer want to approach or date them? Well, that sounds like a you problem, to be honest. I mean, that's not a going out and interacting with lots of women.
You shouldn't be hating women. You should see the compliment to your life. And again, if you vibe, maybe you're dating the wrong women. So a lot of guys, when they get into this, they just are so desperate. They basically just date a whole host of the wrong women. You've got to physically vibe with her, right? There's got to be some sexual chemistry there from the off. Yeah. And you've got to vibe with her on an energetic level. If those two things are in play, the process is amazing. It adds so much value to your life. If one of them's missing or two of them are missing, it's going to feel like a drag. And you might be on the date and just not feel it, right? That's why it's an energetic thing. Chemistry, sexual chemistry, energy, right? They have to match.
But, you know, if you really are in that position, you can log off the stream and you can just stop approaching or dating. I mean, it's entirely up to you. It's your life. You know, I
wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend that as maybe get some feedback and let's dig into the issues, because hating women is not a good place to be if you actually want to live a normal life.
Do you two formally date? Not what us? No, we're not. We're not in a consensual relationship. It seems like it's counterintuitive in modernity. Well, it depends what you mean by date. I mean, you know, we're using that because it's a useful word. It's people understand.
It's a theoretical mind question because he's not approaching. He'd know exactly what we meant if he was actually doing the reps and engaging with the opposite sex.
Yeah.
So get some feedback.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, should we leave it for now? There's not a huge amount of
today, and we'll be back again, swifting it up for the lads tomorrow.
This guy asked twice.
Sir, you are going to have to keep your ₹1 to yourself. We are not.
Coach has to celebrate in India. What does that even mean?
Excuse me, Mr. Tuskings. I need to add white girls to my hareemings. Yeah. No, Abdul. No, you don't.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we'll call it to an end now. Drop us an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, info@jamestuss.com if you're interested in some actual coaching and not just talking about milk farming and sandwiches and Steve Jabber. And we'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.